What's going on, guys? It's Winter Kills here, and we are back with yet again another post-commentary duel video. Here we have Kozmo, Fire King Kozmo to be exact, running the whole Fire King Island, and the various new Kozmo cards in the build. On the left, we do have DDD OCG, my brother piloting the deck. I want to go ahead and point this out for some of those who might ask where he got some of the OCG cards from. They're simply just printouts. We didn't order OCG cards or buy the English cards somewhere on a website. They're just printouts from screenshots taken on a computer, and that's all. But yeah, here we got DDD OCG versus Fire King Kozmo. Basically, DDD at its full power. Basically, Kozmo first turn going setting 2 back row with a farm girl. Not the best opening. A couple set of those set back row could be E-Telly or a Cosmojo. Not looking too much like it's going to be any of those cards. Trish by way of Genghis, Swirl Slime, and Lamia, which I think is like an extremely easy combo to pull off. I think if you open Swirl Slime and Lamia and then any other DDD card, you can pretty much make Trish instantly by going through that play. It's just a really nice combo that always ends up getting you Trish pretty much right away. See Stormforth come down, and it's going to tribute away the number 38 after its effect was baited out by that terraforming. Then we'll see Dogfighter come down to take its place over that number 38, not getting rid of the Trish, obviously the number 38 being the bigger the threat. E-Telly, gonna go get Strawman. Strawman's gonna pay 500 to grab that Slip Rider. And then we're gonna see that Dogfighter crash into the Trish to be able to summon out a Slip Rider. And then we're gonna have 2 level 5 light machine types to go into Cyber Dragon Nova. And then it's gonna steal Trish once it goes into Infinity. The Slip Rider Infinity play. Very, very good utility that Kozmo has to be able to just get an Infinity out that easily when we're talking about just 2 Slip Riders, which is, as we can see, not that hard to get on the field. He'll normal summon the Sword Troopers to get that extra damage, and then he'll use Infinity's effect to absorb that, because Infinity can take pretty much anything on the field, whether it be on your side or your opponent's side. But that's pretty much going to lock the game up there for Game 1. And we're going to head into Game 2 very early on. So Game 2, as you can tell already, is going to be a pretty long game, a bit of a grinder. We're going to see DDD opening up with a Foolish Burial, sending Glow-Up Bulb. See Allure of Darkness, going to grab him 2 draws. Now then deciding what card he's going to want to banish out of his hand. Going to go for DDD Leonidas as seemingly the best option he has. Glow-Up Bulb coming down, 1-for-1ing, milling a Kepler, but going to go ahead and search one anyways. Kepler's going to go grab a Dark Contract with the Gate. Now, basically, this under the stipulation of Where Art Thou, he has until the end of the turn to basically normal summon the monster he searched, or else he would have taken 2,000 damage, but he was able to normal summon the Kepler, so you will not be taking that damage. Now, what normally happens is you'll normal summon the Kepler, use the Where Art Thou on that to grab a Lamia, and then make a fusion of DDD Arc by the end of the turn to gain that 2,000 life points. But this turn he used it a little bit differently to get Glow-Up Bulb on field first as kind of an added bonus, and then grabbing a Kepler that he could normal summon off that, going into a formula, Genghis into, it looks like a Hexblood there, and we see a Crystal Clearwing through Gale Alexander. A very, very strong first turn field. Crystal Clearwing going to be able to beat over any level 5 or higher monster and then gain attack, I believe, due to its effect, and anytime a monster effect is activated, it can just flat out negate it. We also have Hexblood here being able to negate obviously any spell or trap once per turn during either player's turn. Not going to negate the Kozmo Town, I believe, and he's not going to negate the Allure of Darkness. And we're going to see a Solemn Strike hitting the Tin Can, my bad, I don't know, I can't speak. Hitting the Tin Can. And one thing I also want to mention is the broken utility of Allure of Darkness now being at 2 and its use in the deck. Being able to banish anything for draw power So long as obviously one of the dark Cosmos, you can just add it right back with Cosmo Town. So it's like you did nothing at all. It's like you just drew 2 cards for free, took a little bit of life point damage, and added that card back to your hand for no cost other than a couple hundred life points. Really, really busted combo. We'll see Fire King Island come down here, destroying the Dart Destroyer in his hand, grabbing Garunix, I believe. That one, the level 3 Fire King monster, I believe that one's Garunix. I could be wrong. But I think that is the standard for what people are playing in the deck, is maybe 1 or 2 copies of Garunix, so that they have a search target. Slip Rider going to come down on effect activation. It will get Solemn Striked, and then activating its effect Engrave after being destroyed by the Solemn Strike. And I'm not too sure if Slip Rider would get to activate its effect here. That's something somebody would eventually end up telling me in the comment section, like so-and-so couldn't do this at whenever. I'm not too sure on niche rulings like that, but as far as they went through with the play, that's how they worked it out. But I'm pretty sure for the most part, Slip Rider would get to summon something after its effect to pop a spell or trap was Solemn Striked. And then we'll see Strawman's effect to summon out something from banishment by paying a certain amount of life points. Obviously going for Dart Destroyer. Crystal Wing will negate it, and then we'll see it tag out for a Forerunner. And then it's going to crash into the Clear Wing, going into a Slip Rider. Slip Rider is going to pop the Fire King Island, blowing up his entire field, summoning another Strawman, obviously not being once per turn, kind of ridiculous, paying the life points to summon out the Dart Destroyer, and then in the end phase it being destroyed. Putting that in the graveyard, most likely where he wants it, because as you could have guessed, does have a Call the Haunted set to revive it, but Clearwing is going to negate the activation of Dart Destroyer's effect and destroy it. Dart Destroyer will be able to summon out a Dog Fighter, and then the stand phase, that will spawn tokens identical to it. Over on the DD side of things, we're going to see Double Dart coming out just like that by way of Swirl Slime and Necro Slime. It's really nice to know that opening just those 2 cards can get you Double Dark, rank 7, using them if you have to, if you have nothing else. And on top of that, basically being able to go into a level 8 Synchro if need be. And we'll see DDD take game 2, just like that, and we'll head into game 3. With that Red Eyes Flare Metal pretty much locking the Kozmo player out of play. Obviously going to be killing himself by using too many effects and not having enough life points to do so. And here in game 3, we're going to start things off on the Kozmo side of the field with a Terraforming and presumably Tin Can, starting things off strong, revealing some Kozmo cards, sending to the graveyard, Dark Lady, and I think a Slip Rider, adding Dart Destroyer to his hand from what I could recall. And then we're going to see on the DDD side of things, we're going to have Kepler, Dark Contract with the Gate, starting off a pretty strong turn, much like the Kozmo player. Opening up Kozmo Tin Can can usually mean you're pretty much starting your turn off really well, because you are setting yourself up with a lot of advantage, especially if you put some of the right cards in the grave. Depending on what your opponent gives you, he definitely does have a tag out target for Tin Can in his hand, whether it be the one that got added or something he already started the turn with, and that set card could be Call the Haunted, etc. Whatever it could be. Could be Cosmojo, E-Telly, definitely having some really good disruption cards in order to stop any plays that they need to stop. We'll see Genghis come down, and then we'll see Swirl Slime summon out Copernicus to act as a Foolish Burial, and then we'll see Tin Can tagging out for Dart Destroyer as expected, hitting the Genghis, not wanting for any shenanigans to be taking place there, kind of stopping one of the major links in the chain. And it looks like he's going to end up Foolishing DD Lamia off of that Copernicus, now setting himself up with a Synchro play, just by sending a Contract or DD, I believe non-Pendulum, from his field to the graveyard, because I think somebody had mentioned this a long time ago, and I think just by way of how it works is that you can't send a Pendulum monster from your field to the grave, because they wouldn't get sent to the graveyard They technically can't be sent to the graveyard. They would be going to the extra deck instead, but you could still send a DD or DDD, whatever, from your hand that is a pendulum to the graveyard for Lamia. But most likely, the target on his field will be Dark Contract if he doesn't have anything better in his hand to send. Usually how it works with Lamia, could go for a formula. He could go for a level 6 synchro if he plays one. I don't think he does. We'll see a Ragnarok here, looking to revive something from his graveyard by way of, if he does bring back Lamia from the grave, just like that, by sending a Thomas from his hand to the graveyard. For Lamia, on the activation of Ragnarok, it looks like he's going to chain Kozmo, getting rid of his Dart Destroyer to banish one card on his field, and it's going to be the Ragnarok in the Pendulum Zone, and we'll see Dart Destroyer tag out for a Dark Lady. Now going to be able to pay 1,000 life points and negate anything, pretty much. No combo is going to be going off here because now the Ragnarok play has been disrupted. Originally, probably planning to bring back a Genghis or something of that matter, or the Necro Slime to go into maybe a different synchro play. And we'll see formula draw card, Allure of Darkness, and it looks like it's not going to draw him into anything, having to discard his hand. Just kind of as a last-ditch effort to get something he needed to his hand. Looks like discarding a Twin Twister and something else. Not too useful. We'll see a Solemn Strike get activated here on activation of Tin Can. Not have anything to tag out in his hand, so that'll go straight to the graveyard uninterrupted. Drawing for turn. Drawing hopefully something he needed. We'll see activating his effect of Dark Contract with the gate, taking the 1,000 life points. Unfortunately, no way to be gaining life points for himself at this time in the duel. No, obviously, Dark on the field or anything like that. Gonna go grab the level 4 Pendulum Tuner. I forget what his name is. It's really bugging me now. I forget what his name is, but level 4 Tuner, basically DD monster, gonna go into Stardust Spark. And we're going to see Dark Lady tag out. It is a psychic monster, so it's going to be able to tag out much like the little ones do for Dart Destroyer. And then we'll see Dark Destroyer effect activating. And then we're going to see most likely the Stardust Spark activating his effect to keep it alive so he doesn't get completely obliterated next turn by way of several attacks, kind of preventing the OTK. Stardust Spark, very, very good level 8 synchro in my opinion. To be playing right now. I think it's just a good card in general. I like it a little better than Stardust in general. Just really good. One of the really good level 8 synchros. I mean, it's been a really good one for a little while, but definitely, in my opinion, in the pool of one of the better level 8 synchros there are in the game. Obviously, for DDD exclusively, they have Hexblood, but they also have access to, Crystal Wing. They've also got access to, Hot Red Dragon, or not Hot Red Dragon Arch, I mean Scarlight. That is also another very good level 8 synchro to be playing. But I think Stardust Spark is definitely a good card to have. It does have a lot of utility with being able to target certain cards to not be destroyed, so your contracts, your pendulum scales, or whatever. Definitely has a lot of utility. But now we'll see on the Kozmo side of things, Dart Destroyer and Dark Lady pretty much locking things up. We'll see him being able to get rid of the Stardust Spark. Assumingly, Dark Lady did negate its effect, paying the 1,000 life points. Once, I assume, Dart Destroyer went to attack over it, or just declared its effect before battle phase. Dark Lady not going to allow that to happen. Lamia is going to bring itself out by sending his contract from field to grave. Going to see what else he can do here. He has a normal summon still. It's one thing that's nice about Lamia is you don't necessarily need to burn your normal summon off of it. You can just bring it out by sending something. So we'll see him return that Thomas back to the extra deck, because I think he might have accidentally placed that in his graveyard at some point. We'll see Necro Slime and Genghis getting banished for the summon of something, obviously, and it's going to be Genghis. He's going to synchro with that Lamia. Lamia getting banished into a 7, going to be Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst will summon Ragnarok from the graveyard under its own effect when it is special summoned. Great synergy between Odd Eye's Meteor Burst and Ragnarok. We'll see Genghis crashing with the Dark Lady, it would seem like, and leaving his field there as Odd Eye's Meteor Burst. That 3,000 defense Ragnarok and 1 set back row. We'll see it tag out into a Slip Rider, hit the set back row, being a Twin Twister. Not being able to get rid of that Ragnarok. No removal at his disposal right now. Although it could be very easily fixed if he just went and got a Dart Destroyer or something like that. And on the normal summon of that Tin Cannon he added back off Kozmo Town, we're going to see it get Solemn Warning. So no shenanigans for him there, but looks like he's got another one in his banishment zone that he's just going to pay 100 life points for. Tag out into a Delta Shuttle. I believe Delta Shuttle, Foolish Burials, a Cosmo Monster hitting his back row. And I believe that is going to wrap it up for that game. He's going to scoop it up right there. Obviously going to be able to get rid of his field very easily and just attack for game. I think it actually might have ended up popping his monster. I think that's how he ended up getting rid of it, through that use of the Delta Shuttle. I'm not quite sure of its effect, but he did send I think it was a Dark Eclipser to the graveyard, and then there's some other effect activating. I think he might have just popped his Ragnarok, leaving him open to an OTK. But yeah, that's going to wrap this one up. We'll see Kozmo taking the match 2-1. Hope you guys enjoyed. If there were any mistakes or rulings that they didn't play out correctly, it's just because they didn't know how to rule something, and they just played it a certain way because they just didn't feel like stopping in the middle of the match to look something up. This isn't like a tournament match or anything. This was just for testing and just playing for, you know, fun, not necessarily a competitive edge to it. I'm sure most of you will understand that. But yeah, I think that goes for most things. Like if there's a ruling that we aren't sure of, or me or my friends or my brother are playing, and it's in the middle of a match, we're usually like, you know what, we'll just play it out a certain way, and then I'm sure if we fucked it up, somebody in the comments will tell us, which usually happens. And sometimes people aren't dickheads about it, but other times they are. And there's not really too much you can do about that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, though. Hope you enjoyed the commentary and the footage. As always, if you did, please do me a favor and leave a like. That would be greatly appreciated. Cannot stress that enough. We're almost at 2K subs, guys. I'm going to try to make some sort of 2K sub special video like I did for 1K. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support. And it really does mean a lot. I can't believe we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. That's absolutely nuts. Every time I think about it, it's nuts. 2,000 people. Really though, guys, thanks. And as always, Winter Kill is signing out. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.
I will wait for you. The glitch in your